I need to take on the desperate days when the long dark falls to the present power. And when I remember, it brings me peace. This time I will be still. And the mountain has to move. The mountain must obey the words that I speak and bow down to my faith. Because I've got a work to do, and I'm gonna see it through. God showed me the way. I'm choosing it today. The mountain has to move. The mountain must obey the words that I speak and bow down to my faith. Because I got work to do, and I'm gonna see it through. God showed me the way. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? I hope you had a restful weekend. This time I'm focused and resolute. My help is coming. My help is here in you. I hope you have your contracting notebook. You told your partners about contracting chatter. And y'all ready to talk this morning? It's time to move mountains this morning. Welcome to Contracting Chatter. I'm your host, Luciana Turner. How are you doing? I hope you had a restful weekend. Oh, wow. I want to start this morning off. I want to talk to you about a message that my mentor shared. Now, some of you know my mentor is a business mentor. He has a mentoring coaching group. He's amazing, but he's also a pastor. And his message yesterday, he was all in everybody's business. He takes a month sabbatical to recharge because he also talks about you can't pour from an empty cup. So he recharges, he meets with his mentor. Keep that in mind. Your mentor has to have a mentor. And he meets with his mentor, he recharges, he spends time with his wife. And the first thing he said when he came back off vacation is he's back to be all in our business. But the message he said, and one of the points he said was, you can't grow. You know what? I don't want to misquote him. So hold that thought. Because it was powerful. He said two things. He said people confused access with love. And then he also says you can't judge without context, and you can't get better or you can get even. And all three statements speak to making a choice. I'm going to say that again. All three statements speaks on making choices. And I want to talk to you this morning about making choices. Now, somebody's saying, I thought contracting chatter was talking about business and government contracting. And it is. We talk about all things business and all things government contracting. But you have to make a choice. And people want to be in business,
without making choices. People want to be in business without deciding. People want to coast through business and think that makes $1 million business. You have to make a choice. And that's the thing. You choose. And even when you don't choose, that's a choice. Every action or inaction is a choice. When you decide to invest in that program or you don't, it's a choice. When you decide to follow a creator or you don't, it's a choice. When you decide to be on Messy Talk or be on Education Talk, it's a choice. When you decide to watch that video on how they make a video to enhance your business, or you decide to delve into mess on Love and TikTok, it's a choice. And my question to my audience, no matter when you're watching this video, is what choice are you making? Somebody somewhere is saying, I don't have enough time. And my statement to you is that you're making the wrong choices. We all have time. We're just not making the right choices. I do not believe in hustle and grind because hustle and grind leads you to poor health. Hello. I believe in getting full rest. Now, there are times you have to forego a few hours of sleep to make deadlines. You may not be able to get a full 8 hours when you have a proposal due. You have to settle for 5 hours. But you will never hear me say get 2 hours of sleep. No. You will never hear that come out my mouth. But you have choices to make. So instead of binging on social media for 5 hours a day, perhaps do 2 and take the other 3 hours and choose to binge content that will help you grow your business. It's a choice that we all make. Make the choice. When I opened the doors of my business, I just knew people were going to flock to it. I would have clients lining up around the corner, and it didn't happen. And I made the choice to stay in for the long haul. And I'm 10 years down the road. And even when I cry over this thing, let me tell you, I cry over this thing. Even when I choose not to work with people because I know they're not a good fit, and I have a negative bank account and 2 children who are relying upon me, I make a choice. You make choices. Because when I sat down and I wrote out the strategic operational plan of my business, when I sat down and I wrote out my mission statement, my customers must align with the mission statement of my business. And if they do not align, I'm doing a disservice to them and to me. I make a choice. When are we making choices in our business? And every non-choice is a choice. Every time you choose to skip steps in the process because you think learning how to write a proposal is going to get you to that $1 million, but you don't have a clue to the first, how to submit an invoice, that's a choice. When you believe all you need to know is how to get certified instead of learning how to build a sustainable business that you can scale and grow, because for some reason people think government contractors aren't businesses and you need all the other systems and bells and whistles. because you have to have the keys in order to contract. I don't know where this comes from. It's a choice. What choices are you making? When you choose to listen to people who give you bad advice, I was listening to a video where somebody says if you don't sign a 1099, you're not obligated to the taxes. Let me tell you, you're choosing bankruptcy, listening to bad advice, because you cannot sign the 1099 and you are still obligated to the taxes because you accepted the gift and you performed the service. What choices are you making? Are you choosing noncompliance? Are you choosing to be unethical? Are you choosing to remain true to who you are and showing up in your full capacity each and every day when you touch the floor in the fullness of who you are? Or are you choosing to shrink? Every decision, every non-decision is a choice. What choice are you making? I'm asking the question. Do you have an answer? I was listening to my pastor, and I have a pastor and a mentor, so I need you to keep walking with me. And he preached a sermon about Midian and Baal. And I love the way he preached it because many of us have a Baal that we need to destroy in our life. Walk with me, whether you're religious or not, this applies. Because we have things that are blocking us from getting to the next level. What is the Baal in your life? What is the thing that you need to sacrifice on the altar in order to get to the next level? But you're not making that sacrifice because you believe that you have to have it. What is the thing somebody else set up and told you that was true, even though you know it isn't? But you're holding on to it and you won't let go of it. And it's hindering your progress. You're choosing to hold on to it. You're choosing to let it be a roadblock. You're making a choice. Somebody is listening to the words that's coming out of my mouth this morning. And they're saying, what does this have to do with business and contracting? Because you go where you're going head first. And if you have a jumpy mindset, you will never get where you're going. And then you're susceptible to this. Everything is a scam. I can never be more than what I am today. Instead of leaning into I am beautifully and wonderfully made, and I is greater than he is in me, than he that is outward. Come on. Most of us cannot achieve what we're trying to achieve because we're listening to the trolls who are criticizing us, the crab in the barrel who are trying to pull you down. If you notice, the people criticizing aren't doing anything themselves. That's why they have time to criticize. So my question for you this morning, what choices are you making? Let that sink in. We are living in what some people are calling an anxious age. And I'm saying some people are anxious because they're not doing what they know they need to do. You're listening to people who hold purpose in life is to keep people below them so that they can feel good about themselves. I have a saying, and I say it often, because people can't see your vision doesn't mean you need glasses. I'm going to say that again. Just because they can't see your vision doesn't mean you need glasses. It just means the vision wasn't given to them. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need help bringing your vision to fruition. But stop sharing your vision with people who have a problem for every solution. You're talking to the wrong people. Some of you are talking to the wrong people. That's why you don't build businesses with families and friends. You see, we hear this phrase all the time. You can't go in business with family and friends. The problem is we hear a partial phrase. And I didn't look up their full phrase because I wasn't going this way this morning, but this is the way I'm going. But the full phrase is all family and all friends are not meant to go in business with. Because family and friends, some of them are operating out of jealousy, and some of them are operating out of wanting to keep you safe. So you can't go in business with people who are operating out of safety and jealousy. That's what the phrase really means. So when you're talking to people, you have to know who you're talking to. You have to know who's laboring amongst you. Keep that in mind. Kiki, you have to keep that in mind. There are people whose whole purpose is to keep you distracted with their foolishness. Thank you. They want to talk to you about A and B, and you're talking about E, F, and G. You have to keep that in mind. You know, everybody want to talk about the infamous boundaries. And boundaries is to keep you on track and to keep you where you need to be going, not to keep somebody else or make somebody else do what they're supposed to do. No, boundaries is to keep you protected and you focused. So my question is still, what decisions are you making today? Are you deciding to focus? Are you deciding to commit to the commitment? Or are you still deciding to be enamored by a title? I just thought we need to do a little mindset resetting today. Because, you know, we are halfway through the year and some of us are suffering from fatigue. We're a little fatigued. We're a little tired. In January, we were excited and we were, you know, we wanted to conquer the world. It's August now. And some of our conquering is tired. And we're a little battle wearied. And there are some things that are going on that are tapping in and draining our spirits. So I'm doing a little resetting of the room. And I'm doing a little resetting of my audience. And for as much as I'm doing the reset for you, I'm doing the reset for myself. What decision are we making on this day? What choices are we making this day? What renewals are we making this day? And with that, I invite you to follow me on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and on my YouTube channel. I'm doing a contractors roundtable on record keeping. Somebody's saying, but I'm not a government contractor, but you're a business owner. You need to know what records you should keep and how you should keep them. This is complimentary. If you go to my link tree, I need to update it. But if you go to my link tree, it will take you to my training center. You can register for the roundtable in the training center. Now, if you just one of those people who are enamored with calling yourself an entrepreneur, keep going. But if you want to do it and do it right, sign up for the Contractors Roundtable on record keeping. It is September 3rd. It's the day after Labor Day. I believe it's September 3rd. We're talking about record keeping. What you should keep, how you should keep it. And I'm going to take it a little bit higher. Policies, September 3rd. Thank you, Kiki. I'm hosting a contractors challenge starting October 1st. Are you looking to be a government contractor and you don't know what to do? Contractors challenge starting October 1st. There's a 30-day version and a 90-day version. Pick which one you want to jump in at. You can also register for that in the training center. Yes, you can register for it in the training center. That's not complimentary because there's a whole lot that goes into that. There's a recording that drops on Monday, a live Q&A on Wednesday, and I'm giving off open office hours on Friday, so you can ask me questions. So there's a cost with that. And nobody gets a 24-year veteran and government contractor at the price I'm offering this challenge. I'm telling you, nobody does. There's so much more to this story. But you have to make the choice. It's up to you. And with the contractors challenge at the end of the 30 days, there's a 4-hour implementation live. It is what it is. And at the price I'm offering it, my coach told me I was crazy. But that's another story for another day. Next week, I'm covering for Democratic National Convention. Just like I covered the Republican National Convention. I cover it not from a political standpoint. I cover it from a business standpoint. What are they saying and how will it affect you? And I'm looking for your homework, Kiki. And how will it affect you from a business standpoint? That's what we're going to talk about next week during the DNC. This week, we're looking at what's going on in legislation. There's a lot of things going on. Some people think it's good. I think it's bad. Every time we change from what the original founding fathers set up, we're moving further away from what we think we want. The founding fathers set up certain positions to be life positions to keep the positions of the people who are holding the positions from being influenced by the electorate. That's why the Supreme Court was lifetime appointees. You can't remove them except for corruption. So nobody can threaten them. So their positions and their decisions are impartial. You can't threaten them. But if they can be removed by a sitting president, that president can influence them with political pressure. I don't see why people can't see this. But since they're a lifetime appointee, they can really sit there and judge it by the facts of the law. And because you don't like the law doesn't mean that the ruling is wrong. You just don't like the law. But that's another discussion. I'm looking to bring on somebody to talk about some of these decisions. There are a lot of people talking about the Chevron decision and a few other decisions. I'm looking for somebody who can come on and talk about it from a legal standpoint and how it affects businesses. And I'm looking for a legal person to talk about it because a lot of these people, they're talking about it, but they're talking about it in a way that I just want a legal opinion to come in. And then we can have that conversation. And most likely that conversation will probably be on YouTube, which is why I invite you to follow me on all the platforms. Good morning, Dwayne. And with that, make a decision. As I've said this morning, every day you wake up, you decide what you ingest mentally affects your business running. It affects your emotional state. It affects your mental state. Just make the decision because it's a compliance factor. So join me tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another installment of Contracting Chatter. If you missed the live, that's okay. The replays are on my YouTube channel, LT&A Consulting Group. You can watch all of the replays there. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Remember, just because somebody else can't see your vision doesn't mean you need glasses. And every day we make a choice. And the question today is, what choices are you making? I'm Luciana Turner. I'm your host. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day.